Hello, everyone. It's Michael Jaco with Unleashing Intuition Secrets. Back once again with Nicholas Veniamin. He's on my show this time. This is great because Nicholas has had some sort of awakening, and we're going to talk about that. I saw him on a show with Lewis Herms, and just Nicholas it's like for years he's been listening, occasionally talking a little, but now he is like, it's like something happened in you, Nicholas. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thank you for having me on because this is something different for me to be on, to be on your show and take questions from you and so it's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you attribute your newfound? I saw it for like the last shows we did, and of course we haven't done some shows for a while because we did a move and we're getting settled. So now it's time for us to do shows again. But uh, it's you were starting to bring more stuff out, and you were asking me, what do you think? I was like, I think it's great, and now it's just like you just blew up. You just like all these years have been like just holding back, and now it's just like boom.
Mm.
Your information. I was like, God, have you gone to you know the Dalai Lama and got a lot of information from him or something? But it's just like I'm like, wow, I'm learning a lot from you now. It's pretty cool.
Oh, that's I'm flattered to hear that. Thank you. I've just I've listened to a lot of people. 5 years now we've been doing this,
Right.
and I think there's been a shift in me recently in the past 3 to 6 months where I've been learning a lot about Draco beings who hijacked our Earth
Hmm.
12,000 years ago, but they were trying much longer than that before. And it's taken them time to um, hijack the Atlantean civilization. Um, uh, and they eventually got brainwashed into greed and into ego. And it took years and years and years before the Atlanteans fell, and they were operating in 5D, and then they dropped down to 3D. And the most important, the most exciting part for me, for us, is that we're moving from 3D to 5D,
Yeah.
and the ozone layer is thinning, which I call the electromagnetic field, which is why why the deep state is pushing climate agenda. Bill Gates wants to block the sun. The sun is plasma. The sun is frequency. The sun heals you. It's anti-aging. Of course, in the sunset and sunrise, not sitting in the middle of the day in the sun and burning yourself, but the sun has, really good um, plasma frequency, and now it's able to bypass the ozone layer. It's able to bypass the electromagnetic field, and we're able to benefit from those frequencies, causing consciousness to rise. And this is why in the past 5 years, people are just asking loads of questions. They're becoming more curious who they are and what system are we living in and why am I paying this much tax, and why, losing trust in the media, losing trust in big pharma. And they're looking for alternative. I call it alternative everything, not just alternative media. It's alternative everything: banking, media, big pharma. Um, and I think it's amazing where we're going. It's a shift. And they know they can't stop what's coming. This is what Trump's talking about. They can't stop what's coming. I heard that Trump was briefed by the military in his language regarding this awakening. I don't know if they explained it to him very deeply in the esoteric spiritual stuff, because I would say Trump is not very spiritual. I would say he's still anchored in ego and ego identity, but that's okay. He's president. He's not supposed to be spiritual. He's supposed to be a matrix disruptor,
Right.
and that's what his role is. And he's doing a great job.
Yeah. Very good. Wow. That's amazing. So there's a lot of information out there. I've been watching Trump obviously now for since he's been president, but I watched him many years before that. Read all of his books. I wanted to do his courses, but they were too expensive for me at the time. But yeah, he's a master, and I've seen him do the stuff that I used to do in the CIA, which is would do disinformation, and he'll speak about something, and he gives out certain information, and then he'll say something else within the same conversation, and people get really confused about that, but they don't understand that he is directing people in a certain direction, and then he comes around and hits them from another direction. Confusion. Now, if you trust in him and believe in what he's trying to do, like you're talking about, he's destructing the deep state. That's his main focus. So there are some people, I watch a lot of people that follow the Ukraine war, former veterans, colonels, and so forth, and they talk about how President Trump, they're not happy with him, because he'll come out and say a certain thing, and then he'll come out and say something completely different. And they think he's just lost his mind. But I know it as disinformation seeding, and they help him disinformation seed, because they're like, well, he said this, and then he said this. And so they're basically pulling people in that direction of disinformation unwittingly, because they think he should be saying this thing. They want to hear this thing, and then he says that thing, and they're like, okay, and then he says something else, because it's very fluid. Everything is very fluid right now, and he's a very fluid man. He's the art of the deal guy. He can come in and tell you one thing. He'll watch you, and if you say or do something different, he's going to move, and you're not even going to know it. So that's how he does such great deals, and that's probably, I think, why they chose him to be the leader of this new revolution in consciousness and taking down the deep state.
Absolutely. I think that's his soul contract.
Yeah.
I don't believe Trump is the Messiah. I don't believe he is the rescuer. He's not going to save us. I see Trump as a catalyst. I see Trump as a matrix disruptor. He's there to make people question the narrative. I believe that we are the ones that are going to save ourselves. I think when we wait for an external savior, and we channel our energy outwards to an external savior or a rescuer or a messiah, we actually give our soul energy away, and it gets harvested by the system, because that's what they want us to do. Instead of looking inwardly, we should be channeling inwardly to Christ consciousness, and we should the awakening part is to remember that we are source embodiment, and remembering we are source embodiment. And when we awaken, we actually our toroidal field it's being tested in science, and we can't see it because our eyes are limited in the light spectrum. But it can be tested, and the more you know, or the more truth you embody, and compassion and love you embody, your toroidal field expands, and it can even change color to more yellow golden. The Pentagon actually have scalar frequency mapping technologies that can detect your aura. They can detect mass consciousness, how awakened they are, and that's how they decide how to broadcast propaganda to regulate that awakening and that consciousness from rising. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, the Draco, like we both know, are here to stop our consciousness from rising. So he's there to intervene in that, so that our consciousness can continue the process of going higher. So I think it's going to be all out war with them. It has been in the past, like you said, Atlantis. They were able to come in and stop our consciousness, pull our consciousness down into 3D from 5D. And now we're reversing that process. So a lot of the people that were here during that time frame, people like you and I, President Trump probably, and a lot of others were there during that time frame. And we're here to help the evolution back to 5D and beyond. So I think it's going to be it's very exciting for those of us that are watching this. Now, one little clip I want to play that, and we'll comment on it. is where President Trump, told everybody what he was going to do, but it's on a different level. And this is fascinating.
And it really covers everything. The great, big, beautiful bill. We got everything done. I said, let's get it all done. A lot of people want to do it little, small pieces, like 9 of them, 12 of them. I said, put it all into one bill, and if we get it done, we're done for 4 years. We don't need anything more from Congress in terms of that, right, Scott? We got it all done. It was a little risky, but because if we didn't get it done, I don't know, who knows what would happen with these radical left lunatics that we have to deal with. But we got it all done, and now we're set, and you're set.
He literally just said it out loud that he doesn't need Congress for 4 more years. They signed the big, beautiful bill. It's everything he wanted in one bill, and now he has no use for Congress at all.
So that's very interesting when you look at it in that perspective. What are your thoughts on that, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting. I don't know what to think of that. I don't know. I think the traditional government is collapsing. I think that the system that we're in was created by the deep state, by the Dracos themselves.
Right.
It was created by design to enslave us into 3D, to put us in a frequency prison hologram. And then I think we're breaking out of those systems. Their systems are collapsing. So the Matrix has to play out storylines that make sense. That is going to make sense to us. Similar to the deaths that are going on with the vaccine deaths. People, souls are exiting their bodies. So the Matrix has to show us, has to play out a storyline that makes sense to us.
Yeah, absolutely. So Trump is basically, I think, in that big, beautiful bill that he had them sign, he doesn't need Congress anymore. So we're seeing Congress is shut down, or basically there's no funding being passed, but he already has the funding. So things are probably getting funded. It seems like the military is getting paid. We don't know about these SNAP payments and so forth, but things are moving in the right direction. Believe it or not, we've both stopped taxes, and a lot of people did, and that's working out really good for them. So there are ways that you can do this. You have to do it in a very systematic way. Now, all over America and in Britain, there's a spike in violent crime. So it's kind of like what we're talking about, this fear, this anger. It's being pushed by, I think, the Draco, their deep state, puppets and so forth. So on Halloween night, we had a lot of incredible stuff that was going on. Video captured chaos in Washington, D.C. I'm going to play that in a second. But it goes on to cities all around the U.S. and in England, where you had a stabbing. Los Angeles, there were like shootings in Los Angeles. There were shootings in Ohio, Halloween party, 9 people got shot. In Chicago, 4 people got shot, and not far from Wrigley Field. In Texas, 3 people got shot, Halloween party. Florida, 5 people got shot. A large explosion at Harvard Medical School on Saturday morning. So we have all these different things. And of course, unfortunately, we had the stabbing that happened in England on the train. So what do you think is going on with
your signal's a bit bad there, Michael?
So what do you think about the as far as like people having fighting and anger and all that kind of stuff? Is that being pushed?
I think it is being pushed. I think it is being pushed, and from a spiritual perspective, because I think that is the realistic part of our nature is spirituality. That's our baseline. I think there's a lot of NPCs, soulless beings, or AI conscious beings. They are different, and we can go into that in a minute. And they are being hijacked by Draco overlays, and they are causing stabbings and violence to lower the frequency of Earth, to delay the awakening, because they can't stop what's coming.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely. So let me show you the video that I was talking about. I was talking about this one video that happened in Washington, D.C. Now, the National Guard has been there, and they've been touting how the National Guard has been, very, very effective at, stopping the violence that was going on there. But unfortunately, on Halloween night, we had some serious outbreak, and the juveniles. So it's from the juveniles, and a lot of these shootings and so forth is coming from the juveniles. Maybe we can figure out, what's going on with the juveniles as well. But it could be just they're, being influenced by these negative beings.
You got to put in the sweat and be ready for anything. If you
So you see in the background, there's lots of police cars. The National Guard is chasing these people all over the field. This is closer to Washington Navy Yard, which is a secure location, military base. But out in the field, I guess these juveniles started fighting in the streets and so forth. So the National Guard shows up. Lots of police cars. So craziness. So happening all over the United States.
It's crazy. What do you think is going on?
Pretty much every major city.
What do you think is going on? Is anybody funding this? Is it what do you think?
I think that there's some funding going on. There's some bad actors that are out there. I think this is the first wave of things are going to get a lot worse. So you're having different groups that are fomenting this, pushing this particular type of activity, these actions. It's happening in front of ICE facilities and so forth, where you have large groups that are coming out there dressed as unicorns and bears and all kind of crazy stuff, and fighting, and they're getting arrested. And I think this is the first wave. I think we're going to see a second, maybe third, maybe even a fourth wave where the violence is going to get extreme. I think the cartels are involved in this. The cartels are very dark, with Luciferian type, backing. And so I think ultimately, though, like you're saying, the Draco reptilians that came in and basically, pretty much are running the show. They're trying to like suppress us and cause a lot of problems, but they're not going to be successful. But ultimately, we're going to see this violence increase. What do you think about that?
I think we are going to see the violence increase, and I think there's. I want to go into the timeline shifts as well, because the Earth is split. The Earth is split into 75% synthetic and the one's organic, and two different groups are experiencing two different realities. They can still see what's happening, the good and the bad, but from a distance. One's, if you're accepting the system, then you're going to be seeing more surveillance, more chaos. And if you're claiming your sovereignty, then you're going to be seeing the chaos from a distance, and you'll be experiencing peace, and you'll be seeing the chaos as background noise. I think that the chaos is happening by design to bring out digital ID to say for your safety. I think the digital ID system is not just about tracking you, but it's also mapping your frequency, mapping your soul signature to install you or upload you onto the synthetic 5D hologram that the Dracos are creating to capture souls permanently for harvesting loosh indefinitely. And this is where and once the flash happens, I believe we're going to see a flash. It's going to cause a permanent split of two holograms, and then you won't be able to cross paths. You won't be able to decide after that. And it's not about judgment here. This is resonance. It's whatever you want. It's whatever you're resonating with. This is not judgment. That's what I think. Yeah.
Wow, that's fantastic. Yeah, so I think the resonance, we've heard about this back in 2012, December 21st, I think 2012. There was a lot of people thought that, we're going into very violent and the earth was going to end and so forth. But there was a lot of us that focused the frequency to do a timeline shift. Now, this timeline shift is not like you're talking about. I don't think it's going to work for everybody going forward. Those of us that are wanting a certain frequency, vibration, field, where we have freedoms and we can express ourselves, and there's all the different things that we want as far as like a good human race, I guess. Loving and all these high vibrational frequencies. I think there's some people that don't like that for whatever reason. They're programmed, influenced, however you want to think about it or term it, are forced into those frequencies. They don't have the experience with many lifetimes, I guess, to understand that they're being pushed into a very negative frequency vibrational field. Those fields, like you're talking about, I think there's going to be a split. I agree with you. Solar flash. We see a lot of stuff happening with the sun right now. Potential of lots of violence from Earth activity. So not only violence in the population, which some of this frequencies that are coming from the sun could be influencing some of these people to go violent. We're seeing earthquake activity, volcanic activity, tsunami activity that's been increasing so far this year, and I think it's going to continue to increase. That could be part of what's going to project, and the solar flash, like you say, project us into these different hologram fields. And from that point on, the split is there. I've seen myself in the past. I saw myself in the future. Like 10 years ago, I saw myself like going across this frequency field and trying to pull people into the higher frequency. I think what we're doing right now, talking about this, is helping to pull people into this higher frequency. Now, I see in the chat some people still don't understand. They're probably not going to actually go into these higher frequencies, and that doesn't. And like you said, it's not saying that there's anything bad about them. It's just that they don't understand, and their frequency is aligned to these darker draconian frequencies. And so I think that I agree with you. I think we're moving in that direction.
Yeah, I hear that the people that are surrendering their sovereignty to the government and to the control grid, they will experience surveillance, but they will be happy because they will have the illusion of freedom, but they won't have true freedom. It will be a hologram, slightly different to this one. This one is connected to source. This hologram is still connected to source in the sense that we can see synchronicities. We can get downloads in dreams. In this one, it won't happen. You won't get downloads in dreams. It will be disconnected from source, completely controlled by the AI overmind that's been developing, which is completely disconnected from source. And they will be looping with the illusion of freedom. So they will be happy, and it will be like paradise to them. It will be 5D synthetic. It will be much better than this. And the reason why they won't suffer, they won't experience suffering the same way we experience suffering here, is because the Dracos have captured those souls. So they want them to be happy so that they don't question their reality and forever harvesting loose energy from them.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people in the chat that understand this and agree with us. And then, like I said, there are people that have
what are they saying? Because you can
different
see the comments.
opinions, but to the point where, I mean, you two should be ashamed of yourself. I just deleted them off the channel, but we'll continue to see that type of mentality going forward, and some of us aren't going to be affected by it. For me, I just delete. Bye. All right, so it doesn't affect me. It used to, But I think that's because my frequency was aligned to like everyone should be the same. Everyone should have equality and so forth. No, it's not that way. We're starting to understand that there's some, like you're saying, and you said it beautifully. Some of the best that I've heard, that it's not anything negative about you. It's that your frequency is aligned in a certain vibrational field, which those of us that I believe are, higher vibrations, notice it for what it is. It's like for me, being able to do like 50 push-ups, whatever, and or 100 push-ups, whatever it is. I, develop my body. I can do this. Someone else doesn't develop their body. They can only do 5 push-ups. It's nothing wrong with that. It's just they didn't develop themselves. All right. Can they develop themselves? Of course, anybody can develop themselves to do this stuff. But it's the same thing with consciousness. Can you develop yourself? Maybe not. You haven't done the work. It takes a lot of work. You have to work out. You have to work your brain. You have to work your consciousness. And if you haven't done that, your frequency, your ability to understand and to assimilate information that's of a higher vibrational field is not there.
Yeah, I think most people watching this, I believe that there is a spark in everyone here, and we want sovereignty. We're here that because we don't trust the system, and we're here because we want freedom. We want freedom. We want peace. But there's people out there that believe in the system. They think that the system cares about them, and one of the hardest things that I had to accept is the majority of the population is made out of empty vessels. They are part of they are the architecture of the Matrix. They are NPCs, non-player characters.
Perfect.
And most of the population to make divine souls like us, the black sheeps of our families, so they can stop us from remembering who we were, so they could suppress us. Their energy is very flat. They cannot channel to source. They don't have that gut feeling that we do, where we can feel something's wrong here. Okay, and they're the ones that make us feel that, like I said, like the black sheep. But it's they don't matter if they wake up, because they can't wake up. They never existed in the eternal sense anyway. And this is the most difficult thing, because some of these people could be our friends, our families that we love. Yeah. But when we wake up from this simulation and we let go of our egos and our identities, we will remember and understand why we were here. And we will not grieve, because we will understand the same way you wake up from a dream, that you were attached to something in your dream. You wake up and you just think, you understand that it was a dream. So what do you think, Michael?
Yeah, there's a lot of people that woke up during the COVID lockdown. I've said this a few times recently on some other shows, where people have come up to me over the last several years and said, you helped awaken me during the lockdown. Before the lockdown, I was just, machine, just doing the job and kept going. And they programmed me, and I believe the programming like we're talking about. But when the lockdown came, I started to research, and you came into my consciousness, and I started watching your shows, and it awakened me, and I started to do more research, and now I'm completely awake. I look back now, and I've heard this from hundreds of people, and I've seen it in the chats hundreds of times. Probably thousands and thousands of people have awakened, to all of our conversations, and that's helped them. Charlie Ward, you are now back on YouTube. I'm back on YouTube. We're on YouTube Live right now. Charlie Ward's back on YouTube. I saw one of his posts today. So we're all coming back. We were suppressed during that suppression time frame. They thought they were going to completely suppress us and do another, I guess, Atlantis on us. Just push us out. Take us down and keep us in 3D vibration. But we broke free from that. And that was because we were consistent. We stayed on it. We've learned. And now we're accelerating past all that control system. So there are people that have that spark. and they can awaken. But it takes an effort. These people, it wasn't like they watched me and then boom, they had all knowledge. It took time. They watched more shows and went back and watched older shows. They started doing research. So they did the work like we're talking about. They raised their frequency through information. They raised their frequency by being around other people that had that same frequency, and they start to pull away and leave behind those people that don't have that frequency. So yeah, there's going to be people that come in, like I was just illustrating. I have lots of people that watch the chat, but I just happened to see that one. I guess it was because I needed to talk about it. But that is one of the things that is at issue. And was that a real person? Maybe not. It could have been NPC, or it could have been AI that comes in and tries to influence people that are borderline and tries to pull them.
Absolutely. I think many people in a position of power are AI conscious beings. AI conscious beings they're not empty vessels like soulless beings. They have a synthetic soul, pineal gland connected to the electromagnetic field, which was hijacked by the Dracos, whereas the divine soul's pineal gland are connected to source field, where they can channel outside, which is foreign to the Draco system. It's foreign field to them. So that's why you're unpredictable to the system. They can't track that. And when you stay present, because a lot of us, we always think about before or after, in the past or the future, our thoughts, we're not present. And when you're present, that's when you can embody source awareness. And they can't track that. You become unhackable by the grid.
Yeah.
Because they rely on your emotions and your interaction of fear and ego and anxiety and depression. And that's when they're able to put hooks on you. Yeah. I'm going all over the place. I've got so much
No,
to say,
you're
but I just
fantastic. Wow. Like I said, you've definitely awakened, and you have a lot of truths coming out that I'm like, wow, pretty impressive. So this is from James Green. You must examine your belief system and challenge your fears. So this is a very hard thing. Fears are built into us. They don't belong there. They shouldn't be part of our reality at all. But a lot of people believe that fear is very important. I've challenged people on this for a long time. I've done hand-to-hand fighting courses where I taught people how to can't be part of your consciousness. If you feel it coming in, you have to notice it and let it just go. Don't let it stick. It's very sticky. Fear is very sticky. And once you notice fear, then it's hard to unnotice it. And it's hard to let it go. It's hard not to be attracted to it. And that's part of what we're learning, many of us, that the fear is part of the Draco system to destroy our consciousness and keep us within the reptilian type of brain set. So we all have within us that reptilian brain, fear, anger, ego, like you're talking about. We have to learn how to turn that off. Now, that's not saying the ego completely goes away. It's never going to completely go away, but you learn to master it so that it's part of you in a positive way. Some people can see fear. So I see things that most people would fear, and I say, that's probably going to catch a lot of people. And it does. But I watch it. I'm a watcher now. I don't get stuck. I don't get attracted to it. A lot of people we've talked about, I think, who is that one guy? I can't think, David, not David Icke, but David, can't think of his last name right now, but he talked about fear porn. So people just get so enamored of it. They want it. They want to go see those horror shows because it's fearful. They love it. Halloween, they want to go. That's why we had all these fights during Halloween night. It's, activating people, fear, anger, ego. We have to learn how to let that stuff go and get away from those environments which cause that to get triggered.
Absolutely. I think fear and ego, it cannot exist where source exists or God exists. Okay. And it it dims your light. When you have fear, you operate in fear, an ego. It dims your light. It actually contradicts awakening. We want to expand our light, our toroidal field, expand our soul outwards, so we could vibrate, and we could have others be influenced by our frequency field, so that they can awaken. Even in silence, when you're not having a debate with them, they will feel your presence, and they will be triggered by your presence. A spark could be ignited within them of remembrance. Absolutely.
Yeah, that one gentleman I was trying to remember is David Wilcock. Great guy. I went to Hawaii with him. He did a tour there, and I went there and hung out with him. Really good guy. But yeah, there's a lot of people out there that are trying to awaken people. And then, of course, there's even more. The system is rigged, it's controlled, it's manipulated. And these are the systems that we're talking about that are collapsing. But are they? Are they completely collapsing? I don't see them completely collapsing. They still influence a lot of people, but they're collapsing to those of us that are raising our consciousness. So you don't have to wait. You can observe them still there, but they don't have the same, pull or the same, trap for you. You can break free from that, and we're creating this new world. And I think that's what's happening. And I think it's a beautiful thing. And like we said in the beginning, President Trump is part of, helping us break free. Maybe it doesn't completely collapse. Maybe we see it just fade away, and it's like, whatever happened to so-and-so, or whatever happened to this and that, because we're starting to see people that are just kind of like disappearing from the scene. And I think that's part of the revelation to us, that there's another reality. Those people that are in that reality, and a lot of them are going, unfortunately, they're going to England. So they're leaving the United States and going to England. I guess they feel safe there because, here in the United States, we're almost going in the same direction. We may see New York become controlled by the Muslims, just like we've seen happen in London, unfortunately. It's a lower vibration. So I'm not dissing on it again, not dissing on any one group. I've been to the Middle East. There's beautiful people everywhere. I love everybody until they prove otherwise, right? And there's unfortunately a small group, just like we saw here in the United States, just like we see throughout Europe. There's small groups of probably Draco reptilian. When I look at them, I'm like, that's the reptilian. That person's reptilian, the king and the queen, So people were joking before we started the show. It's like, how did you get that picture of Charles, King Charles? Yeah. So it's that way, but can we break free from that? Can the people rise up and push that out? That's the way many of us believe this has got to happen. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe we just do our own thing and let that system, let that city, those cities collapse.
Absolutely. Yeah. When you say a new reality, we're basically going to experience, and we're experiencing it already, is another hologram, and there's a slight overlay, because there's two Earths, there's two holograms merged into kind of one reality that's almost split. And how do we know that scientifically? We can tell by atoms how they're behaving. Since the year 2000, atoms have started shifting. So the more we know and the more we expand our frequency, just knowing, being positive, holding compassion, becoming more curious, having more love in you and truth, the atoms around you are behaving differently. And atoms are made out of 99.9% space, which means everything is space. We're in a frequency band, and I think that space doesn't really exist, because we're in a frequency field, and our higher self, our consciousness, is powering this hologram, which was hijacked by the Dracos, because divine souls can actually have the gift of creating timelines. They can't create timelines. That's why they need us, so they can exist in using us to create timelines, realms, and harvesting energy. but we're seeing a shift, and the sun and Three Eye Atlas is playing a big role in this shift and awakening. And also the technology under Gaza, the crystal tech under Gaza, which is the real reason why Netanyahu and his controllers are wanting Gaza to destroy the frequency tech that was built by Atlantis.
Excellent, excellent. And same thing with the Great Pyramid and other pyramids throughout the world. They have that frequencies, and they're starting to light up again. So wow, yeah, this is it's been an amazing conversation. I'm super impressed by what you're revealing, Nicholas.
Thank you so
they're
much.
stunning. Audience is loving it too. So this is a breaking free from the old and starting the new. I think this is where we're moving, and there's a lot of people that are starting to become aware of this. There should be no fear of this. Of course, there's still going to be fear in some people, but when you have that fear, start to let it go. Because you want the love frequency. It doesn't exist with fear. So if you find yourself keep going to fear, you're probably going to be in that consciousness realm in the future. So just be aware of that. And how can people reach you, Nicholas?
Yeah, I'm on YouTube, Nicholas Veniamin. You can tell there's so many Nicholas Veniamins, but I'm the one with the largest channel. I'm verified as well. I think I've got about 155K subs on there. So follow me on there. You can follow me. Same name on Instagram and X. But thank you very much, Michael, for having me. I really appreciate it. And it's been very fun.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. So great show. Appreciate it. And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye. Thank you.